Hi, third grade. This is Miss Comers, and this is your math lesson for Wednesday, May 20th. This is lesson 21.5. It's called Problem Solving and Identify Relationships. It's on page 436 and 437 in your blue math book. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. It says, different views. Mrs. Pine is teaching her students about solid figures. The students looked at the different views of solid figures. Which solid figures could this be? Okay, so this says this is a top view. Okay? All of the faces of a cube are squares, so this could be a cube. Now, some rectangular prisms have two faces that are squares, so this could be a rectangular prism. Which solid figures could this be? If you take a look, this is your bottom view here. Okay, it's a circle. Well, it could be the bottom of a cone. Okay, because the bottom of a cone is a circle. So this could be a cone. The bottom of a cylinder is also a circle, so it could be the bottom of the cylinder. And finally, if you look at the sphere, if you look square on at it in any direction, it looks like a circle, so it could also be a sphere. The figure at the right is a top view of a cone. Explain what you see when you look at the top of a cone. Okay, let's take a look at this. I have a cone here. Okay, now if I turn it this way, okay, and especially with the screen behind me, what are you seeing right here? Okay, that's just the circle, isn't it? Okay, and what's this right here? If we look at this picture, might that be the top of your cone right there, that point? So let's try some stuff here. It says, what if Mrs. Pine's class looked at the side view of a square pyramid? Okay. Here it is right here. And we have ours right there. Okay. What do you notice? What plane figure could we use to describe that? What is this? It's got three sides. If you said triangle, you are correct. Okay. Now let's take a look at our cylinder. Okay, and one of the reasons that we're talking about this, it's all about point of view. If we look at that, and I keep it in the shadows there, we really only see what? We only see that it's a rectangle, right? Okay. If I hold it like that in the shadow, there's your rectangle. Okay. Even though the side of the cylinder is a curved surface, a plane figure can be used to describe the side view. Name this plane figure. And we just said that it is a rectangle. It says for 3 and 4, use the figures below. We have figure Q, and that is a circle. Figure R, we have a square. Figure S is a rectangle, and figure T is a triangle. Which figure is the top view of a cylinder? Okay, if we look at our cylinder, there's our top view. Okay, if you said figure Q, you are correct. Okay, number 4, which figure is the bottom view of a square pyramid? Okay, here's our square pyramid. If we turn it, there's our bottom view. And what shape do we see right here? If you said figure R, you are correct. It is a square. And this last little tiny part here, it says use data for 5 through 8. Use the bar graph. That's what this is right here. And also If you take a look at it, what kind of a bar graph is it? It's what we call a horizontal bar graph because our information is horizontal rather than vertical. Okay? Number 5 says, how many more members are in the music club than in the swimming club? Okay? We have to take a look at our information there. I'm going to turn my pen on here. And we are comparing the swimming club and the music. Now remember, when we compare, what operation is that? We are comparing two numbers, so we know that we're going to have to subtract. So we're looking at the music club, and I can see that I have 20 for that. And the swimming, we have 16. So if I'm comparing them, I'm going to do 20 minus 16, and my answer is 4. And what's my label? Members. Okay. The next one says, how many members are in the 4 clubs altogether? Well, on that, I'm going to take a look. I've got 16, 12, 24, and finally 20. Okay, and then we're going to add all of that together. And what do we get? If you said 72, you are correct. And what are we counting? Members. Okay, number 7 says, list the clubs in order from the greatest number of members to the least number of members. Okay, which one has the longest bar? Okay, we see that it's running, so that's going to be the one that has the most. Then which one? We look for the next longest bar, and we see that it's music. Then which one? Next longest bar is swimming. And finally, what's our last one? Art. Okay. Number 8 says write a problem using the data in the bar graph. Explain how to find the answer. So you're going to need to look at this information, create a question, and then tell us how you would find the answer. Number 9, what's the question? The answer is 5 faces, 8 edges, and 5 vertices. Okay, I want you to think about what that one would be. If you came up with your square pyramid, you are correct. Okay, let's take a look at your homework. It's RWPW 114. Okay, you're going to go through, make sure you read the directions. It says look at the side of this rectangular prism. What plane figure describes the shape you see? Okay, now remember, you're just looking at the side there, aren't you? Okay, so they want to know what this piece is right here. Okay, tell me what that is. Numbers 2 through 5 are like what we just did in the book. You've got figure K is a square, L is a circle, M is a triangle, figure N is your rectangle. It says which figure is the side view of a square pyramid. Here's your square pyramid. I want you to tell me what this shape is. Mark your answer. Okay, the next one, number 3, it says which figure is the side view of a cube? Okay, here's your cube. What shape do I see right here? Okay, number 4, which figure is the top view of a sphere? This one's kind of a trick answer if you've been paying attention. Okay. Okay. What do you see right here? Okay, mark your answer. And finally, what is the bottom view of a cylinder? Here's our cylinder. If I turn it this way, what shape do we see right here? Okay, mark your answer. Now, this is something that we didn't have time to go into, so I'm going to help you a little bit with this. It says choose the unit you would use to measure each. Write inch, foot, yard, or mile. Now, an inch, that's just a little itty-bitty piece on our ruler right there, right? A foot is our whole ruler. A yard is 3 of these stacked together. And a mile, that would be 4 laps around our high school track. So let's take a look at this for just a minute. It says the height of a chair. Okay, what would we use on that? Okay, if you said foot, you were correct. Mile would be too big, a yard would be too big, and an inch would be too small. How about the length of a river? Is that something that's really long, really short? What do you think? If you said mile, you were correct. That's our largest one right there. And rivers tend to be very long. Okay. And how about the length of my arm? This one I really think could be either. You could probably use foot. It might be a little bit big. But you could either use an inch, possibly a foot, but I think inch would be a better choice. And how about the length of our classroom? That's a long ways, isn't it? Okay, now here's where it gets tricky though. Inches, that'd probably be too short. A foot, that would probably be too short too. However, mile's going to be too big, so what do I have left? If you said yard, you were correct. Okay, good job today, guys.